Hi, boys and girls. This video, you can follow along. I'm in a website called climatekids.nasa.gov. So this comes from NASA made this to help teach children about climate change. Some of this vocabulary is pretty big, but you can follow along. I'm going to read it. Um, so we can be doing both, following along and listening at the same time. And the question is, what is climate change? The short answer, the nice and easy answer. Climate change describes a change in the average conditions, such as temperature and rainfall, in a region over a long period of time. NASA scientists have observed Earth's surface is warming, and many of the warmest years on record have happened in the last 20 years. Okay, so now we're going to go over some vocabulary. Weather describes the conditions outside right now in a specific place. For example, if you see that it's raining outside right now, that's a way to describe today's weather. Rain, snow, wind, hurricanes, tornadoes. We don't really get those, do we? These are all weather events. Climate, on the other hand, is more than just one or two rainy days. Climate describes the weather conditions that are expected in a region at any particular time of year. Is it usually rainy or usually dry? Is it typically hot or typically cold? A region's climate is determined by observing its weather over a period of many years, generally 30 or more. And I know you just saw that in your other video. So, for example, 1 or 2 weeks of rainy weather wouldn't change the fact that Phoenix typically has a dry desert climate. Even though it's rainy right now, we still expect Phoenix, which is in Arizona, to be dry because that's what is usually the case. Okay. Climate change describes a change in the average conditions, such as temperature and rainfall, in a region over a long period of time. For example, 20,000 years ago, much of the United States was covered in glaciers. In the United States today, we have a warmer climate and fewer glaciers. Global climate change refers to the average long-term changes over the entire Earth. These include warming temperatures and changes in precipitation. That means rain, precipitation. That's a good vocabulary word. As well as the effects of Earth's warming, such as rising sea levels, shrinking mountain glaciers, ice melting faster than usual in Greenland, Antarctica, and the Arctic, changes in flowers and plant blooming time. Let's stop and talk about that because this is really our Earth Day challenge. Has to do with the changing climate. So water levels are getting higher. Mountain glaciers are shrinking. Ice is melting in Greenland, Antarctica, and the Arctic. Because the ice is melting, that's why the sea levels are rising. And now plants and flower, their blooming time is changing. How would that affect us? Earth's climate has constantly been changing, even long before humans came into the picture. However, scientists have observed unusual changes recently. For example, Earth's average temperature has been increasing much more quickly than they would have expected over the last 150 years. So here you can see. So here's our annual global temperature change. You can see sometimes it's high, low, high, low, high, low. This is the 1880s. It's a long time ago. That's 140 years ago. 1940s. So right around here is when I was born. And look what's happening all of a sudden. Look what's happening. Some parts of the Earth are warming faster than others, but on average, global air temperatures near the Earth's surface have gone up 2 degrees over the last 100 years. That doesn't sound like a lot, does it? Just 2 degrees? But it makes a big difference. In fact, the past 5 years have been the warmest 5 years in centuries. Many people, including scientists, are concerned about this warming. As Earth's climate continues to warm, the intensity and amount of rainfall during storms, like hurricanes, is expected to increase. Droughts and heat waves are also expected to become more intense as the climate warms. That means when it rains, it's going to rain a lot. And when there's no rain, there's not going to be hardly any at all. That's big changes. When the whole Earth's temperature changes by 1 or 2 degrees, the change can have big impacts on the health of the Earth's plants and animals too. Ooh, so now that really makes sense why EarthDay.org is making climate change and global temperature so important. There are lots of factors that contribute to the Earth's climate. However, scientists agree that the Earth has been getting warmer in the past 50 to 100 years due to, human activities. It has to do with us. Certain gases in Earth's atmosphere block heat from escaping. This is called the greenhouse effect. These gases keep Earth warm like the gases in a greenhouse keep plants warm. Human activities, such as burning fuel to power factories, cars, and buses, are changing the natural greenhouse. These changes cause the atmosphere to trap more heat than it used to, leading to a warmer Earth. Ooh, so some of our challenges today are going to have to do with that. They're going to have to do with how to burn less fuel. You're going to have to be inventors. When human activity creates greenhouse gases, the Earth warms. This matters because the oceans, land, air, plants, animals, and energy from the sun all have effect on one another. The combined effects of all these things give us our global climate. In other words, Earth's climate functions like one big connected system. Thinking about things as systems mean we have to look for how every part relates to each other. It's almost like a machine. NASA's Earth observing satellites collect information about how our planet's atmosphere, water, and land are changing. By looking at this information, scientists can observe how our Earth system works together. This is going to help us understand how small changes in one place can contribute to bigger changes in the Earth's global climate. Oh, small changes in one place? Oh, I love the way small changes in one place sound. That sounds like you and we can make big changes. Because one small change by you, one small change by me are going to affect everything. So that's why our challenge this week is so important. It reminds me of the Lorax, which I will be reading to you. And it is the biggest message that Dr. Seuss, I think, really ever had was in the story The Lorax about our Earth. And we'll be looking at that later as well. All right. Thanks, guys.